what's up YouTube? It's the Dead Noob, and this week I want to go ahead and cover a little bit of a different aspect or look at first-person shooter world. Right now I want to go ahead and cover the three big elephants in the room and what the difference is between them and how it is that we make mistakes and try to put one inside of a different category when it doesn't belong there. So right now I'm going to break down military style, milsim, and arcade first-person shooter games, and why it is that we make a mistake and try to put one inside of another. I'm very guilty of this. I complain about ballistics all the time. So here we go. Up first is going to be military style. These shooter games typically are the most popular. Titles like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Insurgency Sandstorm come to mind. These games go for a little bit of authenticity, but not full realism. They don't want you to feel like you have to get a degree from SDI in weaponology, metallurgy, and ballistics. So you don't really have to have real-world experience to have fun with this game. But if you do have real-world experience, you're going to get upset about it because ballistics don't really play well with it. However, if you enjoy these titles, and I'm not going to get into the nuances of each one because everybody has their favorites. However, it's still fun and playable for those that like to enjoy it. However, I do believe that Insurgency Sandstorm might be the cusp between the military style and the milsim, but it's up to you to decide if you play them. Alright, before we get into the next topic, I'll go over the key characteristics and traits of the military style. You'll have faster paced gameplay, you'll have real weapons and gear, but don't really act like the real weapon or the gear. They'll have simplified recoil and ballistics. You won't have the parabolus effect in a military style shooter. And then the cinematic areas are very visually appealing. They look more colorful, more vibrant than you would find in a milsim or a very realistic game. The multiplayer side of the game will not really punish you as much. You'll be able to respawn faster with your loadouts, or you could change loadouts mid-respawn, or even sometimes during active play. They won't punish you. Now, these games are designed to make you feel tactical without overwhelming you. You can sprint, slide cancel, bunny hop, and reload in a half a second. Not exactly real life, but it feels enough to give you the immersion feeling. And now, we'll get into the next one. Milsims. You want realism? Well, this is about as close as you're going to get. Milsim shooters are designed for players who want the full experience. Planning, communication, consequences. These games don't care about your feelings. They care about the authenticity. I'm all for it. With games like Arma 3 or Arma Reforger, Squad, and Hell Let Loose. These games offer harsh recoil and realistic ballistics. Their slow, methodical gameplay caters towards those people that want that realism in the game. They have a limited HUD, or even none at all. They have high punishment for mistakes. You're not going to respawn. You're going to have to wait till the next game. The team communication is mandatory, and sometimes the break between winning and losing. Gear management and logistics matter. You're not going to go in with everything you need. You don't have unlimited supplies. You may have to use somebody else's or dropped weapons in order to succeed, such as Tarkov. Tarkov is another one. In Tarkov, one bad decision costs you everything. You can lose all of your loot. Everything that you carried in can be subject to being taken from you. In Arma, you might spend 20 minutes moving from one point to the objective. In Squad, if your team doesn't communicate, you're basically a respawn timer. Milsim isn't about looking cool. It's about surviving. It's about task, orientation, and objective clearing. If you don't go in with a specific mindset and mission in mind, you're going to fail. And finally, we'll get into arcade shooters, who focus on fun over realism. They don't really care how real the game is, they just want it to be as fun as possible. With games like Doom Eternal, Apex Legends, and Marvel Rivals, just to set a few examples. And their key traits and characteristics will be exaggerated movement, cartoonish weapons, bright and colorful maps, low or no punishment system at all, fast respawns for consistent action. These games are about flow and adrenaline. You're double jumping, wall running, grappling, throwing abilities, and respawning every 10 seconds. It's chaos. It's beautiful chaos in the mind of the player, at least those that really like those games. Now, I'm not here to rank these games or make it a competition between milsim, military style, or arcade. You may play one or more of these. You might enjoy one or more of these. Personally, not really into the whole arcade thing. I will play military style, but I prefer milsim. So I'll do my best to try to break these genres down based on a few criteria: realism level, punishment, pace, and then the top games within those genres. And I have to do that based on Steam charts because I can't do it based on true analytics because some games don't even release those numbers at all. So we start with the category realism. Now, realism is going to be pretty strong with milsim. Let's be honest, that's kind of their bread and butter. Now, it goes to military style games such as Call of Duty or Battlefield. There's some realism in there as far as like graphic content, but they're not really based wholly on a realistic viewpoint. They kind of combine the two between a low arcade style and military style. And then, of course, arcade sitting at the bottom with the more cartoonish look. Think of like Fortnite. That's pretty much what we're getting at, right? Moving into punishment. Punishment's probably going to be taken by milsim yet again. They have the most aggressive punishment system in first-person shooters. It's kind of a toss-up between military style and arcade at this point, depending on the game. Some have a little bit more aggressive punishment system. Some don't really even have one at all. It's just respawn and go, respawn and go. Call of Duty kind of has that a little bit. Battlefield has that a little bit. But some of the other games kind of punish you a little bit and they make you wait with timers. Now, if pace is more your thing, then you're probably going to be leaning towards arcade shooters. They really have a fast pace. A lot of military style shooters have a really fast pace. And then milsim, well, milsim's going to be at the bottom simply because their punishment system is based on your pace. The faster and more aggressive you are, the more likely you are to be punished. And now I'll quickly get into the top two from each one before we close this out and get done. So here we go. For arcade shooters, it's Arc Raiders at number 2, Fortnite obviously at number 1, and then if anybody cares, number 3 would be Apex Legends. Now these are according to Steam charts. However, I know somebody's going to say something. You can't find Steam numbers for Fortnite because it's not sold there. However, a quick search would reveal that Fortnite is number 1. Let's not get it twisted. Moving right along to milsim. Escape from Tarkov currently holds the number 1 spot. Squad's coming in second, and Arma's coming in third. Now I know I said it was only going to do 2, but it just didn't seem like I was doing justice if I didn't add a third. Now these are according to Steam charts. Once again, I know that isn't carte blanche everything, but it does show respective numbers for PC players. I couldn't get all the data for Xbox and PlayStation, so I'm just going to go with what I have. And last but not least, military style. I was pretty sure I was going to piss some people off when I revealed these numbers, but here we go. Fanboys, hey, do what you do down in the comments. So we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Sitting in at a cool and respectable number 3, free to play, of course, Delta Force. And then moving along, PUBG Battlegrounds, still holding it strong inside the top 10, this time number 2. And sitting at number 1, Counter-Strike 2. Yet again, I think the free-to-play aspect of these games tends to hold a heavier weight than paying for a service and then having a store up front later on. Might play a little bit into this. Battlefield and Call of Duty both respectively do this. And then their numbers. Call of Duty is sitting at 50th, a big drop from the giant that used to be on top. And Battlefield 6, with those big numbers that they had at launch, I didn't think that they would ever fall this far. 40th. So let's go ahead and close this out. Each one of these styles within the first-person shooter game genre add a flair and a technique and a style all their own. Milsim, for anybody who really wants to get entrenched in the whole realism of a game. The military style shooter, where you have a little bit of the realism, but more of the arcade. And then you have the full-on arcade, where it's just cartoonish. Anybody who's just looking to have a really quick, fun match, don't really care about the realism. They just want to play and have a little bit of fun. Well, that's it for the Dead Noob in this video. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments. Hey, like, share is always appreciated around these parts. But go ahead, leave a comment. Tell me, did I miss something? Did I miss a game? Did I miss part of a genre that anybody talked about? I know I kind of left the looter shooter out, kind of compiled it and threw it into some of the milsim, some of the military shooter. But, did what I could. So thanks for watching. And as always, be good or be good at it. I'm done.